Cheers. Today I'm drinking herbal tea.
Here we go. H2O. That's what I got.
Hey, happy Friday the 13th, Sean.
Yes, right back at you, man.
Thank you. We're going to get right into it because there's a lot to talk about today. So,
yeah,
I'm going to start with the Friday the 13th just in general, and I'm thinking
should we give an overview of the entire episode?
Oh, yeah.
So this week, obviously Friday the 13th is tomorrow, so we had to make it a topic. And to do that, we did some research on Friday the 13th in general, and we watched the movie Friday the 13th from 1980.
Yep. So
now we're filling you in on it all. We got serious reviews coming later.
So I'm thinking, right, like there's a lot about why 13's unlucky and why Friday could be potentially a big deal and why Friday the 13th could be a big deal. Mm-hmm. And, if we take off, we'll do a Friday the 13th episode. But just the meat and potatoes of it is Hammurabi's code left out the 13th law when it was written in legal codes. In actuality, that was just an error, but that's why a lot of people think 13's unlucky. Also, in the Bible, Judas was the 13th guest at the Last Supper, and he betrays Jesus. And in Norse legends, there was a similar dinner party, and Loki, the god of mischief, was the 13th one to show up, upsetting the balance of 12 being the perfect number. Why Friday? It's a great question, Sean. Well, according to the Bible, Jesus died on a Friday. Eve gave the apple to Adam on a Friday. From
what?
College. Yep. And Cain killed Abel on a Friday.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna. I don't like being superstitious. I'm gonna throw out there the Adam and Eve thing. I call BS. That's. I mean,
they weren't wearing clothes at the time, but we're keeping track of the calendar.
Yeah, right. Like, if they're the first two people, like, what's the deal there? How they already got Monday through Friday established? Like,
no clothes, but they have the days of the week established.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Yeah, that one's a stretch. By the time they had kids, maybe they're given days of the week.
Yeah, I'm sure they had some sort of number system, maybe, but just like it was probably just like cold this part of the year, warm this part of the year type deal.
Yeah, there's a lot of other stuff. Canterbury Tales depicts Fridays as a bad day.
What's that?
And Canterbury Tales?
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
I think they're like fairy tales. That's the best of my knowledge. And then some playwright used to call it Friday face when someone looks sad or angry. So I guess Friday's just got bad vibes. First real appearance of the term Friday the 13th was written by some stock market guy who said he was going to deliberately crash it. And then 1 year later, the New York Times started publishing like things about superstitions about Friday the 13th.
Was this the pre-fake news era or post? Because I think that
1908. So I'll let you decide.
All right. I'm just joking.
There's some fake news somewhere in there.
I was going to say, what makes them the Friday the 13th authority now? But
yeah,
that's kind of crazy.
And then the reason why people are really starting to think like Friday the 13th is like a bad deal is because, again, it's got that religious aspect to it.
Yeah.
October 13th in 1307, King Philip IV of France arrested hundreds of the Knights Templar.
Wow.
So then there's a bunch of random stuff going on. CNN told me the other day that there's an estimated $800 to $900 million in spending lost based on superstitions on Friday the 13th.
Well, there's definitely gambling money lost. I mean, like, I don't think anybody who gambles regularly is betting any money on Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
That's just stay home from work day if you're a professional gambler. So
if the month starts on a Sunday, there's going to be a Friday the 13th.
Okay.
And then here's there's a bunch of stuff on the number 12, but I'll skip all that. Hotels and airlines may cut prices. on Friday the 13th. And then the last thing, this is actually the last one that I want to cover before we start talking about this movie. Greece, Romania, and Spanish-speaking countries actually, it's Tuesday the 17th, Tuesday the 13th. And in Italy, it's Friday the 17th. So
what?
Yep. That was the thing I was most interested in, honestly. I was like, is everybody else just going like crazy Americans or what? So,
That kind of debunks the whole superstition thing, because then it just depends on where you are in the world.
yeah, I just thought it was interesting. One of my favorite TV shows when I was a kid, they wanted to do a Friday the 13th special. So since it came out on Tuesdays, they made a Tuesday the 17th episode.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty funny. And they spoofed the movie. So perfect transition.
Wow.
Here we are.
My first time ever seeing the movie.
All right. That makes me super excited because I kind of hope. All right. This will contain spoilers. If you have not seen the movie, stop watching now. All right.
Of course it will contain spoilers. How do we review the whole thing without talking about the end? That's impossible.
So you thought it was Jason the whole time, right?
No.
Okay.
So I thought my first instinct was Crazy Man Ralph.
Good.
Right? Because I was like, this guy's a nut job. He's showing up in the pantry of the kitchen. Why is he in the pantry? Why did he think to go in there? Obviously, he's a lunatic. He would be number one suspect if murder started happening. But then when we get to campsite, I was like, okay, it's either Ralph or the head guy.
How about the head counselor who's literally carrying an axe when we first see him?
Yeah, well, I thought it might be him, but he had an alibi. So I was like, okay, like, whatever.
And
not him.
He had a Jeep, which was a quality misdirect. They were like, oh, he's got the Jeep. She's got the Jeep.
Yeah.
Who's it going to be?
So I thought it was either the head counselor or the crazy guy Ralph.
All right.
I feel like we should go through this like kind of start to finish of the story so nobody's taking anything out of context either.
All right, I'm going to cover some basics. So the franchise has 12 movies in the series, which again, I think is lazy because
you think that's lazy?
Bro,
I thought that was absurd.
Friday the 13th, you really couldn't just pop out another one.
Okay. I understand that. When I saw that there was a second one, I thought they did too much.
Okay. I have a fun fact about the second one. So the series was actually supposed to be an anthology series, which is why the director was different. Because, they didn't plan on, or originally when the guy made it, they were planning on making sequels, but they weren't planning on the sequels to have Jason. It was going to be like camp horror, and I don't know why it was going to be called Friday the 13th, but boom. They just wanted to keep rolling it with like a different camp murder each time, which I thought was cool.
Okay.
There were comic books, movies, video games, books, and merchandise. The film grossed over $468 million at the box office worldwide. And then originally it was created to cash in on the success of Halloween.
Okay, I understand that. As somebody who saw it for the first time, I would not recommend to anyone. I thought it was a trash movie.
Wow.
I didn't like it. It was just too predictable for me.
Oh, really? Because you saw Mrs. Voorhees being the killer the whole time.
No, but at the same time, like when we talk about the end, how many opportunities was there for the old lady to get murdered before she got murdered? It was at the point where I was yelling at the TV, like, what are you doing? She knocks her out multiple occasions and runs away. Drops a machete on the ground, runs away. No, I was like, take the knife, kill the lady. She killed your friends. She's trying to kill you. Don't run away and hide. Like, you're not getting away. You're not getting anywhere. Kill her.
Kill her and get away with it.
I almost like started a tally going. It was like 4 or 5 different times. But that's
fair.
We can get more into my review at the end. Let's take it back to the start.
Take it back to the start. It was released May 9th, 1980. Again, I think that's lazy. It should have been released on a Friday the 13th. Just me.
That's probably just all about profitability. It seems like they were milking this for as much money as they could. So it was the second it's done, it's going out.
It was originally going to be called A Long Night at Camp Half-Blood or Camp Blood. It was filmed in Hardwick, New Jersey, at Camp Nobibosko.
Okay.
Camp is still operational, and they have a wall dedicated to Friday the 13th. Budget was $550,000, and they grossed $39 million. And
wait, what happened to $400 million they grossed?
I think that's like overall.
Oh, like all the
films,
the other stuff that they sold. Yeah, I gotcha.
Like the other films in the franchise as well.
Yeah.
$468 million. The runtime is 35 minutes. It was okay. So originally, when they produced or when they were trying to get money and funding for it, the guy only showed the intro where it says Friday the 13th, and it crashes into the glass. And they didn't even have a script written yet, but he got funding.
Wow.
Yep.
That's pretty crazy.
So yeah, that's pretty much my fun facts. The rest of these I'll sprinkle as it goes out. The film was written in 2 weeks and filmed in 28 days.
I'm just gonna throw this out there. This is what happens when you don't have to show any preview to get funding and you throw a script together in 2 weeks.
See, this is what you get. I knew you were gonna hate this movie.
Okay, that's the just if you're thinking about watching it, remember, barely a pitch situation, 2 weeks writing start to finish.
All right, let's start with the movie, Sean. Let's get into the beginning.
What's her name? Annie. She's hitchhiking to camp, right?
Dude, it's 1958.
Oh yeah, there's the past thing. So I got a theory about the old lady. We'll talk about it at the end.
All right.
I was picking up on things. I know why who lived and who died.
All right. Well, pretty much everybody died.
Yeah, but I know why.
All right.
Not in this prequel area. They're all at the 1958 camp thing.
Yeah.
Only 2 of them die.
And you know why that is, Sean? Because they were having sex.
Yep, that's my theory. Because the only person in the whole movie who wasn't like, okay, not everybody got action, but that the 2 playing strip poker were both drunk, high.
3. The final girl was playing strip Monopoly.
I know, but she never took her clothes off. And the other 2 were the drunk and high ones with no clothes on, and you knew something was happening between them if they both had their clothes off already. That's why that girl lived. Okay.
Totally fair. Also, so fun fact, the camp counselor that's in the beginning, that gets the first kill of the franchise, he is actually, I think, a producer. So that's a little fun little tidbit. All right, so now it's present day. And Anna shows up?
I think her name is Annie.
Annie?
Yeah, it's Annie. So she's like hitchhiking to camp. This situation was weird to me. She's hitchhiking to camp, right? She sees the crazy guy Ralph in town who tells her not to go to the camp. Yep. Everybody dies. She gets in with the trucker guy.
Well, she goes to the restaurant first, and another critical review. Yeah. So everybody there is kind of like, oh, don't go there. It's cursed. It's like almost like one of those old-fashioned like vampire stories where they're like, don't go to the house, like it's haunted. All right, that's what I was kind of getting the vibe of. It's a good vibe.
Yeah, I got the vibe too of that in there. But then she gets in the truck. Weird thing. Did you see how she gets in the truck?
The dude just grabs her ass and pushes her up. Yeah.
Yep. I was like, okay. At that moment, I was like, she's dead. Like she's young girl. Young girl. She is hitchhiking by herself, and she's letting strangers touch her butt as she gets into a truck. This girl is dead. She's got no guard up. She's not even gonna see it coming. Herself dying. That's my prediction right there.
I even quoted. She says, "Excuse me, hi boy." The dialogue was trash. Like some of the dialogue, I was just like, "Why? How? Who approved this?"
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
That's all I gotta say to that.
Yeah. So then the
hitchhiking
from strangers, not a good call.
Mm-mm.
Not a good call. And Ralph, definitely, they're trying to make you think Ralph's the killer right off the bat. They want you to think that.
They did a good job of that because I thought it.
Dude, that dude can apparently teleport. I don't know how he got in the cabinet, but he made it.
I don't know either. That was crazy.
And then we have our next big moment with the axe being chopped, and it's the owner, which we kind of already went into.
Yeah, so they like pull up. A different group of people pulls up to the campsite, and their first introduction to the head honcho camp counselor is this dude chopping just wood with his shirt off, and he puts in work right away.
Yeah, which again, why? Like the guy has no chill. He was just like, all right, right off the bus, get working. So
yeah, kind of whatever though. So it was kind of weird to me. I mean they're all like teenagers, but they all kind of like stumble upon getting there, what seems like absolutely no research about the summer camp that they're going to work at.
Well, it's almost like it's the 1980s and that we didn't have a computer.
Yeah, but like you would think like maybe there would be like a pamphlet or something, or like the one girl hitchhiked there, and then the other couple, 3-4 people, they drove there.
Yeah.
They gotta. How do you get a job? How do you get a job somewhere where you know nobody who has gone to this camp? It's got no reputation in the. You would at least ask your neighbors, "Hey, I got offered a job at this camp. Like, you ever hear of it?" Nope. No.
Oh, that's the one where there were the kid drowned, 2 people died, and then there were fires.
Like you would at least like try to figure something out. I get it. There's no internet, but like a little bit weird to me. Everybody just kind of shows up. And then there's the important scene with which also kind of threw you for a curb, with the head counselor who was chopping wood. He tries to get Brenda to stay an extra week.
I don't think her name is Brenda. I think her name is Alice.
Her name's Alice?
I think so. I'm not 100% on that either. Okay, that's another thing this movie did terribly. Names, terrible. I couldn't pick up on who was who or what was what.
Yeah, I was the same way. It was bad with names.
But yeah, he tried getting her to stay, which I feel like shows that she's not really the typical virgin final girl. Because like she was like, oh yeah, I drew you last night. And I was thinking like maybe kind of Titanic drawings where it's like,
oh, yeah, I thought she was drawing him naked.
Yeah, okay, that's the vibe I got too.
That was what I went to.
There was some foreshadowing, the archery, right? The girl was right there.
Yeah.
And fun fact, the arrow was shot by either a cameraman or a producer. It wasn't actually shot by Ned, I think the guy. That dude was just a pain in the ass the whole movie.
I thought they were all a pain in the ass.
I think though that kind of adds to it, right? Because they're all getting really annoying, and you're just like looking for them to get killed.
Well, that was my. I can go into this in my review part. Let's keep going because I have so many like overarching critical things to talk about. You know.
So.
But I thought the important thing there that made you think it was the camp counselor was whatever the girl's name who was doing the drawings was like, I might go back to California. I don't know if this is going to work out. And he's like, just stay 1 more week for me. And when he said that, I was like, she is dead in the next week. Easy.
Yeah. So then Anna dies.
Yeah.
In the woods.
Surprise, hitchhiking accident. Who saw that coming?
So I thought what was cool about the way they were shooting it, and this goes throughout the whole movie, is they do like a little voyeuristic view where you're getting the view so you're almost the killer like the whole time.
Yeah, I did like that. I thought that was cool.
I thought that was awesome. And this is probably one of the first movies that they did it in Psycho as well, but also there's a ton of connections to Psycho. All right, continue with the plot. The cop shows up.
Yeah. Well, they all make like comments, like wondering where the other girl is, that she never shows up. But then they drop that in like 10 minutes.
Yeah, they're just like, I guess she didn't make it.
Yeah, whatever. Go ahead. Cop shows up.
That's it. I mean, he was just like, hey, what's up?
Okay, this was a big scene, right?
Okay. Go for it.
Because we see what's going on here. We all know what's going on here, but we see what's going on here.
Yeah.
One dude, whatever guy's name it, maybe it's Ned or whatever, he comes out screaming, basically in his underwear, dressed as a Native American. And I knew right away. I was like, they're hooking up with each other. This guy's got no clothes on, and they're doing drugs because this guy is drugged
Ned's
out.
whacked out.
Yeah. I don't know what he's doing. We know that they were smoking pot. It was like, what is this? Cocaine? Snorting? Got you running through the woods screaming? Like, I don't know, but I was like, yeah, this is what's going on here. Like, a bunch of young people, they go there. We saw in one of the other scenes, they're just hanging out in the water.
Yeah.
Having a good time.
That was, again, Ned faking drowning so he could make out with a girl.
Yep.
Quality.
Yeah.
Classic camp story.
That's why that scene was a big deal, because it was just a big what the fuck moment. Like,
and that's when you knew.
What's this guy doing? Nobody's paying attention. Everybody's on drugs.
Did you go to camp as a kid?
Not sleepaway camp.
All right, I also didn't go to sleepaway camp. I thought maybe it would hit a little harder if you went to sleepaway camp or something.
Yeah, I always kind of wanted to, but it never happened for me.
Yeah, same. Where were we? The generator goes out, so Kevin Bacon fixes it. I thought this was like, oh, Kevin Bacon's a cool dude. That's what I thought I got out of it. And then,
well, is this when it starts raining?
Yeah, and then this is when everybody starts to split up.
Yeah, so they start splitting up, and Ned's the one that splits up first, right?
And he sees somebody in the cabin. He's like, oh, hey. And they're like, oh, hey. And then they vanish, and then we don't hear from Ned for quite a bit.
Yeah, so that bothered me a lot, because I was like, Ned, you know everybody at this campsite. If you don't recognize someone, why are you going to talk to them? What are you doing, Ned? Why are you going in there by yourself? And why don't you think to turn the lights on when you're in there?
Yeah, that's how you die. That's how you die.
Yeah,
Ned.
Exactly.
Well, the generator might not have been fixed by that point.
Oh, you're right. Okay, that's
no, never mind. Because I thought it was. I don't know. There are two guys that looked exactly the same. So one of them was with Kevin Bacon trying to fix it, and then I do think that's when Ned died. So I don't think he turned the lights. I think he just did it.
Yeah, you're right. I don't think the light situation was working at that point.
Quality off-screen death. I gotta say that was a nice little setup, right?
What?
That Ned died in the cabin, right? So he's in the cabin. The killer kills him in the cabin, right?
Yes.
Where does the killer go from here? Under the bed. Because the killer sees Kevin Bacon and his girl coming in.
I had a big problem with this.
All right, let's hear it.
I picture you've seen bunk beds before in your life, right?
Okay, Sean, it is super dark right now. You already said it yourself. You said, why didn't you tell me it's dark?
They lit a candle.
Okay. I don't think Kevin Bacon was focusing on the other bunk beds. Let's just say I think he had other priorities.
I'm just saying, when you're doing that and there's not many people at the campsite, you probably want to make sure things don't get weird with the group, and you do it right in front of somebody, right? You got to
you're not going to go looking in an empty cabin to see if anybody's there. You know no one's there.
But okay, so I pictured like the top bunk of a bunk bed. It's usually like eye level.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, does he not look before he gets into bed? How do you not notice a body? Maybe I'm just
looking at his babe, Sean. He was looking at his babe.
While you're shaking the bed and rocking it, you don't feel the extra weight on the top bunk.
They're new to this. They're new to this cat. They're new to this bed.
I just call bullshit.
Was this when you texted me? This is softcore porn.
Yes, exactly. Because I was like, what am I watching? And they start doing it just like the 1958 couple, and I'm like, they're dead. That's it.
So softcore porn was where the director started. Another fun fact.
And when you told me that, I was like, surprise, he never left. Or he wasn't ready to leave, at least.
He wasn't ready to give that up. He still liked it. He knew what he was good at. Mm-hmm. All right, so the girl, after they have sex, the girl gets out. She's going to go shower, bathroom, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Bacon's laying in bed, and then he feels a drop of blood on him, or a drop of something. He checks and it's blood.
Mm-hmm.
Boom! Arrow through the neck, blood shooting out.
Yeah.
Another fun fact: that blood shooting out was actually not scripted. Their prosthetic wasn't working correctly, and one of the people that was in charge of the prosthetic ended up using the tube and blowing on it, and that's why it looks like the blood is bubbling.
Wow.
It ended up being an iconic scene, and it was so
that's funny.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. All right, the shower. Did you notice in the shower?
The what?
The hand. There was a hand like floating in the shower.
Yeah.
I thought that was very good, building some stress. So Killer, again, very smart movie. Killer leaves, follows the girl to the bathroom, hides in the shower. It's smart. I just thought it was clever the way the killer was moving.
Mm-hmm.
And then axe to the head.
Yeah, the whole you're by yourself, you can't get the sink to work. Classic horror movie thing. You know, as the viewer, not to look in the shower. What's she do? She looks in the shower. She dies.
She's like, "Is that Lorene?" I think that was the name of her friend or something like that. She was like, "Is that you?" Like, "No, girl, that is not your friend."
And then what's that conversation like too? Like,
hi, I was just hanging out in the shower trying to spook you.
Well, it's like I'm out of the shower getting dried off or whatever. What are you doing here in your underwear? Oh, I just did it with Joe in the other room, right?
You did it with Kevin Bacon, all right?
Yeah,
oh man.
Either way, awkward conversation, even if it is a friend.
Even if it is a friend.
Maybe you talk about it in the morning, gossip then. But at this point in time, she's obviously on edge a little bit, so maybe not right now.
And then it flashes to the camp director, who he said he was going to run a small errand. It is now pitch black, nighttime, and he's just hanging out at the diner getting a meal.
Yeah.
And that's when they showed that he has the same Jeep, which I was like, oh, they're trying to pretend he's the killer.
Yeah, that was a good curveball.
Yeah.
But that also right away when they showed the Jeep, I was like, okay, he's got the same car. He's either working with someone or it's not him, because we got people dropping dead already back at camp while he's having a meal.
So you're like, that kind of cancels him out.
It does cancel him out. So it's either somebody borrowed his car or it's his wife or something, but it can't be his wife because he had a thing going with the artist. So we don't know who it is. Somebody took his car or it's not him. That was my thought.
Then I think the next girl goes missing. We don't see her die. She goes off somewhere, right? And then she just vanishes.
This is a big series of events here.
All right, I skipped a lot in my notes there. I was just like, what's going on here?
Well, I think so this is when they play strip poker.
Oh, this Strip Monopoly.
Yeah, Strip Monopoly.
Great game.
I never heard of that.
Yeah, just, roll the dice. Oh, I got doubled. That means you take off your clothes. Great game. Great concept.
So they're drinking, they're smoking, they're playing the game, right? Artist girl does not remove any clothing, okay? The entire time. She's a little uptight. She doesn't know about it. Whatever.
She's drawing the camp director naked, but she's uptight.
Yeah, she's not sure about it, okay? The other two, guy and the girl, I don't know their names. They're both in their underwear, okay? Yep. The girl remembers that a window was open at her cabin, right? You're in the middle of the woods. Nobody's been at this camp all year. Who cares if a window's open? Honestly, not a big deal. My biggest issue with this scene, though, is she just took all her clothes off. All she puts on is the rain jacket. I'm leaving my clothes behind, and I'm going to bed. What is the deal here? Do you not want your clothes anymore? Is that an invite for the dude to follow you back because you don't want to put them on? What is going on here?
I did not understand it because she did then put on a nightgown. So
yes, she put a nightgown on, but she left her clothes in the...
No, she folded up her clothes and took them with her.
Oh my! I didn't see her take her clothes with her. I thought she just left them on the floor or whatever and was like, I'm out in my underwear.
I would have understood that. That I would have gotten. I'd have been like, all right,
no.
You keep these. I'll be back later because I don't want them to get wet. But she folded them up and just carried them away. I was like, okay.
But I was like, even if playing that game, like if I were to play that game and I had to go walk through the rain, I would put my clothes on still.
Yeah, I'd probably put my clothes back on too.
You're going to be twice as cold in the rain.
Yeah. And then, Sean, what do you do after you leave your strip Monopoly game? You got to go to the bathroom. But where's the killer right now, Sean? We already know. Yeah. Killer's in the bathroom.
Well, she dies, like the generator turns on, or like all the lights turn on, and we don't know how she dies.
Yeah, but then she runs away, I think, right?
I don't know. She was just gone.
She was just gone. But then it cuts back to the camp director, and he's getting a ride back from a police officer.
Yeah, but the cop can't make it all the way to camp because he gets a call from town.
Which is why he starts to walk.
Yeah.
Theory, right? Because we know how this killer's smart and moving around. Killer sees the cop lights, gets into the car, goes to drive away. Who does she find at the front? The camp counselor. So the camp director. So the murderer kills them.
Yeah, that's probably what happened, I think. That makes the most sense.
Especially because in this movie, it has been literally like you can clearly follow the path of the killer.
You're right.
So I think that makes sense. All right. Where are we? I said the storm adds discomfort at this point because you're here in the storm. You're picturing yourself going out in your underwear, getting rained on. Ugh.
Yeah.
Also, so the girl, when she was running away from the killer, she ran and literally, like if you watched it, I thought this was clever placement. It could have been an accident. She backs up and literally her chest, the center of her chest was lined up with where the target was. I'm sure
that's kind of cool.
I'm not sure if they did it on purpose, but I was like, oh, it's because she's the target. I thought that was clever. And then they find the bloody axe.
Yeah. And this is when I knew mistakes were coming for real. You got a bloody axe. You haven't seen your friends all night. And you had, I guess nobody warned them about the crazy stuff.
Yeah.
This is when I say, like, you can tell they're both on edge. They're a little bit nervous. I say take the axe with you. If I'm in that situation, I'm on edge. It's raining. I can't find my friends. I'm taking the axe.
I would have also taken the axe. I don't know why they didn't do that, honestly.
Classic
horror movie right here.
Bloody axe in your friend's bed is like a clear she's dead sign.
Yeah. Yep.
So I say we take the axe. No brainer.
Yeah. No brainer. You're taking the axe.
But they don't.
This is when they start walking around looking for phones and stuff. And this is also when they mention that it's Friday the 13th and a full moon.
Yeah, and they find that all the electricity is shut off now. Yep. All the phone lines are cut. And there's basically no way to contact anybody. They're stuck there. And then the guy goes to try to fix the generator because he thinks that they're out of propane or something.
He vanishes.
What?
He vanishes then.
Yeah, he vanishes. So it's just the girl, and she's like asleep at this point for a little bit.
All my friends are dead. I'm gonna take a nap.
Yeah.
Gets up. This is what I thought was actually kind of interesting. This is when she makes her instant coffee.
Yeah, that was weird.
You thought it was weird. I thought it was a creative way to build stress. Because we know something crazy bad is about to happen, right? We know there's a killer on the loose. She's still kind of clueless for some reason. And it's literally the whole time that she's making this coffee, I'm getting stressed. I'm like, yo, it's going to happen any second now.
Well, a little bit, but I thought she was doing it to relieve her stress.
That's also what it was. It was her relieving stress, building the audience's stress.
Yeah.
But it was great.
But she wasn't. She was shaking the whole time. She couldn't screw the lids on correctly.
Yeah, I don't know if she actually just didn't know how to do that or...
I agree.
It could have been she was nervous or she was just bad.
When she screwed the lid on for the coffee, I was like, okay, what is this?
What's going on here?
Screw it on right. It's not that hard.
I think this is when she heard a kid's voice yelling, help, help, help. So I was like, what's going to happen? I Already seen the movie by this point, by the way. I'd seen it. This is my second or third time watching it, but this is why I can look at it more critically, I feel like.
Yeah. I looked at it critically.
So this is when she runs away and blocks the door with everything that she has. Because I think this is when she starts finding bodies, right?
She found the boy's body that was hung in the generator room. And then she runs back and she barricades the door. But barricading the door pissed me off too.
She tied the door because it's open.
Yes.
Then now you can be pissed off because this is where it was just dumb as shit.
This is why it pissed me off. Because it's an open away from you door. So she tied it so you can't pull it away from the house and open. But then she barricaded it from the inside. So all you got to do is climb over everything. But it was 2-3 feet high, the barricade. So you really just got to step over it if you get the door open.
Maybe it'll fall on the guy when they come in.
Yeah. And then
that was the best I could give her on that one.
Yeah, I wasn't seeing. I was maybe slow him down by a couple seconds. I don't know. But then they threw her friend's body through the window.
Yeah.
And I get that she was shaken up at that point, but now she's got the advantage because old lady didn't come out swinging. She wasn't there to fight. She was just there to intimidate. You're in the kitchen. Grab the biggest knife you can and go out there to kill.
All right, time out. If you go out there and see an old lady, are you going to be afraid? I'm not. We're going to be honest. I definitely would have been in a bad place. I'd have been like, oh, hey, yeah, actually, all my friends are missing. I need help. Can I get in your car and we leave?
Okay. If there is a less than 10-minute window before seeing my friend's dead body thrown through the window, doesn't matter how old the lady is, I'm going to be asking questions. And I'm holding the knife with me or the axe with me, and I'm ready to kill still.
I'm like, we got to leave. That would be my thought. I'd be like, hey, old lady, you're innocent. You just pulled up. We got to get out of here.
Yeah, I would be that way too, but the knife is coming with me. Coming with me, and I'm not giving them an inch of space either.
Yeah. See, I thought when she was in the kitchen, grabbed the little pitchfork, I was like, that's a nice add-on. That's a good weapon she got there.
I said that was the best weapon that she had at that point.
Yeah, definitely.
I was disappointed, but it was as good as she could find, apparently.
Yeah, but we'll take it. Oh, also, I put this one in quotes too because she was talking to old lady, whatever, Mrs. Voorhees. And Mrs. Voorhees says, quote, I'll take care of you. And I was like, you know what that means. She's not talking about saving your life. She's talking about killing you.
Yeah.
She mentioned that, so sex equals death because the camp counselors were having sex when Jason died. He drowned because they weren't paying attention to him because they were having sex.
Well, this is what I was saying the whole time. This whole movie can be summed up in a 30-second couple sleeps together, couple dies. Couple sleeps together, couple dies. Couple looks like they're going to sleep together, probably will, and then they die. And then the one girl who doesn't, I shouldn't say that because Annie, in the beginning, she died, and she didn't get any action. Yeah. There was not even a love interest for her.
She got a butt grab.
Yeah. So that was my prediction at the end. I was like, this is what this movie is. And then the one girl who didn't get any action, she left alive. But she had to put up a fight though too.
Yeah. So when she was getting attacked, I thought it was the opposite of Psycho because the mom. You haven't seen Psycho.
No, I haven't.
All right, we'll close your ears, Sean. But basically, the mom had the kid inside of her, which I thought was kind of cool. Another thing,
no.
Yeah? No, that every time there was about to be a kill, there was
yeah.
So that's supposed to say kill, 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 mom. Huh? That's what the guy that made the noise said it was supposed to be.
So the old lady, what's her name?
Mrs. Voorhees.
Do we have a first name?
Mrs.
Voorhees. She's got a multi-personality disorder.
Yep.
Because she flips back and forth from grandma to her son. And
just regular mom.
Yeah, but she's old. Like, she would be a grandmom now if Jason wasn't dead. But she keeps going back and forth, talking to herself, like, kill them, mom, kill them, mom.
Yeah.
To, don't worry, Jason, I'm gonna take care of this girl. And just start talking.
I also love how, like, she was just gonna bitch slap her to death.
Okay, that was I was like, imagine this. This girl is like 18 years old, and she looks like she's in decent shape, you know.
Yeah.
And an old lady in her 60s is just slapping you, and you know that the old lady killed your friends. I'm like, get up and start a fight.
This old lady is no joke, just slapping you around.
Yeah.
And then you finally get away from her, right? And instead of finishing her off, you run and hide in the pantry.
Yeah, with like a little like half knockout. Like, she's unconscious for like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
That 30 seconds in the gun room too, okay?
Okay, well, she couldn't get the gun, all right? She couldn't get it to work.
She's got the back of the gun, though.
Okay, smash her brains in.
Take it. Just finish the job.
All right, now she's in the pantry, right? This is, again, one of the scenes that I think was great. You hear Mrs. Voorhees walk away. You see our main girl, whatever her name is, Alice, I think, sitting there. It's silent, and then you see the door handle turn.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, quality. And then, boom, Mrs. Voorhees chopping down the door straight out of The Shining, which apparently came out the same year. I'm not sure which came out first. But I was like, there's a direct parallel with, like, the whole – and then she puts her face in, like, I'm coming.
Yeah, that was kind of funny. I like how she put her face in.
Yeah, so did I. I was like, that's pretty cool.
Mm.
Especially because I don't think The Shining was out yet, so I thought that was interesting. I said I would have finished her off, right? Because she again in the kitchen got away from her. That's when I would have finished her off. First time I'd have been like, this is just a crazy old lady. The second time I'd have been like, she's not quitting. I'm gonna kill her.
Yeah, me too. And she dropped like a machete there.
Oh yeah. That when she had a real weapon, yeah, no doubt.
I was like,
macheted her to death.
She's killed someone before. There's been intent for her to kill me, and now she's half unconscious on the ground with a machete.
Mm-hmm.
Easy. Close your eyes, finish the job, run.
Instead, where do you run, Sean? You run to the beach.
Yep.
The beach of the lake. This is the final battle, which I thought, honestly, not too bad.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
I didn't dislike it. And then boom, head gets cut off.
Yeah, I thought the head coming off was kind of funny. I didn't dislike it either, but that's because I would have had a real problem if there was another fight after that.
Yeah, no, I would have been pissed if there was another fight.
Yeah.
And then she does the only thing that I think makes sense. Get in the middle of the lake.
Yeah, nobody can get to you, whatever.
I would have probably hopped in the middle of the lake a little bit earlier.
Same.
But, I mean, if you wanted to fight to the death and then go into the middle of the lake, personally, after I had killed the old lady, I probably would have went back, moved the dead body out of the car, and then driven away.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have been like, let me hang out in the middle of the lake for a bit.
Yeah, that's true. I would have taken the car, gone to town, been out.
Yeah. All right, Sean, now comes the big jump scare.
Yeah, so Jason apparently climbs out of the water and pulls her under, and then she wakes up in like that hospital bed, and and she says the story, and everybody's like, no, nobody was there to there was nobody else there. They searched everything.
So this wasn't written as a series yet.
Uh-huh.
In your mind, did you think it was a dream sequence, or did you think this unholy child arrived?
Well, there wasn't enough to tell, okay? I didn't get enough of her story, and I didn't get enough of what the police did. They said when the police like brought you in or got you out of the lake, when she was in the lake in the boat. So I can't tell if the police got her in from asleep on the boat or from under the water. that would have been a big. If she was under the water, I'd 100% be like, yeah, the guy is real. If they specified in the boat, it was 100% a dream.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't have either of those, and I think that's a detail that can't really be left out to make a decision.
I kind of think that was the point, though, because you were kind of like, ooh, is it mystical or is it just the mom going nuts?
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
But considering there are sequels, I think all the death at the camps brought the demon or the evil child back to, or the not evil. I don't think he was evil. They just brought the kid back to life to become evil and seek revenge.
Maybe the death of his mom set him free.
Yeah.
He's no longer living inside of his mom. That's that multi-personality.
Yeah, he became himself. He was close enough to the lake that he was able to just suck back into his body.
Yep.
So, have you ever heard of And Then There Was None?
No.
Okay, well, it's an Agatha Christie book where it's kind of set up the exact same that this is set up, that there were 10 people. Mm-hmm. And then one by one they keep dying, and it's sort of like who's the killer, and it's one in the group. Mm-hmm. Same vibe that this gave off. If you haven't seen it, can't talk about that much.
So give me a rating. Give me a rating and explain to me why you think that's your rating out of 10.
All right, wait. We skipped one very important thing. The snake
go for it.
The snake scene.
This was such an overreaction. What?
All right, so that scene was not in the script ever.
Yeah.
The campers were like the people that were filming actually lived on the camp.
Yeah.
During filming, and a snake went into their like room, and they were like, "Oh shit!" And then the director was like, "Yo, we should make this part of the movie," and they just added it in. Also, that was a real snake.
Wow.
Animals were harmed in the making of this movie.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah. That was my little fun fact.
All right.
Sean, you ready for my rating?
If you say 10 out of 10, you have no more. All of your future scores are discredited.
Well, you asked me last time what a 7 is. This is a 7.
What did you give Caligari?
I gave it an 8. I gave Caligari an 8. This is a 7.
What?
Yeah.
What did I give Caligari? Like 3.5?
I think you gave it. Yeah. You might have. No, you gave it like a. I think you gave it 4.5.
Whoa! I gave Caligari a 4.5.
Yeah, I also looked up a little bit about Caligari. We might have been a little wrong, but it's fine.
That's old news, man. That's old news.
What's your rating, Sean?
Wait. So why do you say? All right, I'll give my rating. I was being that Caligari was a 4.5. I can't go 4.5 again because this was easier to watch than Caligari.
What we thinking?
5.5 is my absolute max.
All right, he said 5.5.
That's the best I could possibly do, and that's a stretch. I should have rated Caligari like a 2 because this belongs at like the 3.5 point.
IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes both gave it a 6.4.
Yeah.
So
I don't think that's a great score.
I don't think it's great either. The only reason why I gave it a 7 is because clearly it became a successful franchise, right?
Well, just because it's successful and sells a lot does not mean that it's good.
All right. I also really liked the voyeuristic view that it was giving.
Okay.
The twist was really creative.
Now we're talking.
The setups for who was the killer with the axe in the beginning, with the crazy guy Ralph being in the cabinet, and then I think the guy shooting the arrow at the girl, Ned shooting the arrow at her. There were a lot of different ways that this could have gone. I had already seen it, so I already knew. A lot of the foreshadowing that it set up, again, that her being the target, I thought it was clever. The door handle, the fact that the killer actually made sense following a trail.
You know, I will admit that those are all very good points. I just feel like
the gore, the effects. The gore, the Kevin Bacon neck.
Yeah.
That's where the star alone.
I just feel like it's not something that I would rewatch anytime soon. And I went into it like looking to take it in and like kind of feel like I'm like part of the movie, right?
Yeah.
And it would have gotten a higher score if I went into it like going for like cheesy horror movie angle.
Yo, this is what made cheesy horror movies, though.
Exactly.
This is the first. Like, it was like, boom, a camp horror film. This is the camp horror film.
Yeah, and I have no doubts that it's like iconic movie, huge deal, and like that's great, good for them, and I understand it completely. But like, I didn't go into it expecting cheesy horror movie. You know?
Okay. Yeah.
I went into it thinking like honest attempt at a horror movie. But if this movie came out in 2021, every person in the world would be like, this is the most garbage film I've ever seen. It is too cheesy, too predictable. I would never watch this.
I mean, you can't predict that Mrs. Voorhees is the killer because she was never in the movie, which is also a thing that you could argue is like bad storytelling because they mentioned the fact that a kid had drowned, and then again, they didn't mention Jason until like an hour and 16 minutes into the movie.
Well, the whole time I was wondering, like what's the deal with Jason? Does this kid even matter? Like, I know that Jason is like a topic for Friday the 13th. Like, I know that that's a thing, but
yeah,
why do they mention him and nothing ever happens?
Yeah, that's true. They weren't originally going to have Jason jump out of the water either.
Oh, wow.
They added that in late in the game. It wasn't in the script, and it was because you probably haven't seen Carrie, have you?
No.
But there's a scene at the end of Carrie where something similar happens apparently, and they were like, we got to add that because that would be like a great final jump scare, especially because the music, lulled us to like we're like, oh, everything's safe. Boom, Jason. They were like, we need one more scare like that. So,
wow. Yeah, I don't know. I guess 5.5 is kind of fair. If I look at it from the cheesy horror movie angle, it goes up in my book. But like I said, I didn't. I was like, I knew it was like a huge, like big deal of a horror movie. Yeah. I didn't like want it to be cheesy because it was such a big deal.
So my question is, this movie came out, we watched it. Would you watch Friday the 13th too?
No.
So next Friday the 13th, our podcast episode will not be on the second movie.
No way.
You're like, no, we'll cover the Knights Templar. Like
any movie that has 12 movies in the same series is not good.
See, but like you can very much say it has to be good.
No. Look, and this is like a whole we could talk about this whole topic for an hour. Star Wars original trilogy. I know. The original trilogy was great. The next 3 kind of fell off. The 3 after that, I mean, they were out of ideas.
I think Star Wars has 12 currently in the franchise.
There are 12 now?
Yeah, you got the 3 OG, you got the 3 new series, then you got the 3 newest series, and then you have the Han Solo movie, you have Rogue One, and then
Han Solo and Rogue One are not part of the main storyline.
Okay, so you're not counting those ones. Those don't count.
I'm not counting those.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
In that case, just the 9.
Still, but too much. It falls off.
All right. Yeah, I agree. I think the most recent 3 Star Wars movies they were okay, not great. Very much for like wow value.
That's all they were. They just made them to cash in.
Yeah, it was cheap, easy to make money.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I think when I saw how many Friday the 13th there were, I was like, okay, like the first one was probably really popular, and then they cashed in pretty big on like the next 2 or 3. and they were just milking it by 5, 6, 7, 8 plus.
So one of them in the franchise, they cross over with Nightmare on Elm Street, which I've heard is also a very good movie. I actually saw the first one; it was pretty good.
Okay.
But this movie is so, because I know you don't really like this movie. This movie is actually not like a critically ranked movie. Like, people are like, this movie's not good. They say that it's good for what it did to the horror genre for slasher films, but besides that, they're like, this movie's not that great.
Well, like the story, one of my issues too was throughout the movie, I was like, whoever this is, they deserve to die because of their bad decisions, right? Which sets up every cheesy horror movie ever afterwards.
Yeah.
But this would have been so much better if I had some type of backstory or connection to literally anyone in this movie where I could feel some type of sympathy when they died.
So a lot of people said that you should watch the second and third Friday the 13th movies and then watch this one.
Yeah, but I don't want to watch prequel movies to understand this one better. When you go to watch one movie, I need that to be enough so that I feel for the main characters at least.
You don't want to build on it. You're like, it's not like you're not going to watch a TV show and then wait for episode 5 for the show to get good. You want it to be good on episode 1.
Well, no, a TV show has that like longer format where they can do that and make you like characters and hate them. But in a movie, you should be able to like at least relate enough to the characters or get enough of a backstory where you can see where they're coming from or understand why they're there. You know,
well, they made you hate them and then you killed them. Then they died. So
I didn't hate them though. I was just like, I don't know these people. I got no connection to them whatsoever. Yeah, I just didn't care. I literally was like, well, that's a dumb decision. You deserve it. You got it coming.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
And while not knowing their name too, that was why it got the lower score. Like, I feel like they could have done that a little bit better, but I mean, you're right. It really did a lot for the horror movie industry because I can definitely think of how everything's been based off of that.
Yeah, like when you're watching, you're like, oh, I've seen this before. Like, oh, they've done this somewhere else. Oh, okay.
So I give them a lot of credit for that.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I mean, what, a 4.5 for you? That's pretty.
I said 5.5.
5.5's not bad, Sean. That's
like, and if I look at it, if I went into it like we're watching a cheesy horror movie tonight, and I'm gonna get drunk and laugh at this, it's a great movie. It's perfect.
Would recommend for getting hammered and laughing.
Yeah, exactly. But that's not what I went into it as. You know, I was. So that's why I got the score it got.
You were trying to take a look at it. Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for listening. You can email us at thewyskpodcast@gmail.com.
And we're on Apple Podcasts now, Spotify, and also on YouTube. So I will link the opposite ones in the descriptions of whatever it is. So if you're on YouTube, I'll have the description for a podcast links in there, and then vice versa.
We're also on Google Podcasts.
And various other odd podcasts that I don't know the name of. Yes. But that's what you should know about Friday the 13th. Cheers, guys.
Have a good one, everybody. Happy Friday the 13th.